My name is Andrew, this is Rogue Wrenching. Today we are changing the starter on this 2008 Honda Civic. This is a 4-cylinder 1.8 liter automatic, and to do this you don't have to take the intake manifold off. It is accessed from underneath, as you can see here. The first step is going to be to raise and support the vehicle. Once that's done, you're going to slide underneath. You'll be able to see the intake here. There's a bracket right here that you can take off that has 3 bolts, and then we're going to go ahead and unbolt the starter. Once the starter is unbolted, we can let it hang, which gives us better access to the terminal connectors on the back to remove the main battery power supply and then the wire that excites it or turns it on. The starter comes out here through the wheel well like this, and then here's a new one, and then we're going to go back in, basically the reverse of this process to put it back together.
So as you can see here, the starter comes up in front of the control arm there and then kind of runs along the CV axle, coming in over the top, and you can reach in there and set it down, and then you can attach all of your wiring from there. Now, the real challenge with this job is to get this starter kind of fished back up into its home, and you're gonna fight a couple of things, including this big primary wire coming around there. If you grab that green corner and just kind of pop it down and underneath the starter, that gives the starter more room to squeeze up inside between the intake manifold and the engine block. Get your starter to where it's close to lined up and your bolt in there, and then push your starter up into its home and then turn the bolt by hand. Do not use a power tool for this, because if the bolt does not start exactly straight, it'll cross thread. So always start this by hand, and then you can finish with the power tool if you wanted to. Get this bolt fairly snug, and then the next step is going to be to fish in the top bolt, which, let me just say right now, is a giant pain to fish this thing in there, because you got to get the bolt way out at the end of your fingertips and try to manipulate the end to get it to drop into its home. So it is possible, it is 100% doable, but it is definitely going to require some patience. As you can see, my glove is ripped and it's just a giant pain. Next, we're going to take our chrome socket on a chrome wobble, and again, we're starting this bolt by hand. You can see there's no power tool attached there. So always start these bolts by hand, start both bolts and get them to where they're started before you tighten either one all the way. Because if you tighten up the bottom one all the way and the top one's a little bit off, that's just going to be a pain. You're not going to get the top one in. Don't forget to put in this bracket here on the back. There's 3 bolts. The 2 going vertically are 10 millimeters. The one going into the block is a 12 millimeter. And that's about all there is to it. Time to see if it starts.
There she is. One more time for good measure. All right, folks, well, there you have it. There is replacing a starter on a 2008 Honda Civic. So some key takeaways that I think are valuable here is, 1, you don't have to take out the CV axle or the exhaust or anything like that. The only thing you have to take out is that little bracket on the back of the intake manifold. And then to get to the bolts, all you need is a couple of long extensions for a 3/8 ratchet and then a wobble. You can use deep sockets, shallow sockets. I used a medium deep here just because that's what I had, but either one will work. In short, this is a fairly straightforward and easy repair you can do yourself. The only things that you absolutely have to have is a way to lift and support the vehicle. So that would be like a floor jack and some jack stands, and then a couple of long extensions, and like I said, that chrome swivel or universal joint is the other secret to this job. So again, no need to take out the CV axle or the exhaust or anything else like that. Always wear safety glasses, especially when you're working underneath the vehicle, and disconnect your battery before you start, and that's all there is to it. This is a pretty straightforward job, definitely something you guys can tackle at home by yourself. No need for a professional on this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you guys in the next video.